And soon you will be able to upload multiple images for your property and have a slideshow on the site. You'll be able to add a video if you have something on YouTube for your product. You'll be able to add your related listings. Really nice, easy process there that then will get related directly to the listing on that listing page, so that people won't have to jump back and forth to other parts of the site. So if you have a hotel, then you'll be able to see the meeting spaces and everything else right there. Quick, simple, a link to that information if that's what the consumer is interested for a particular property. Improved mapping. You'll see mapping all over the site. We've got some really cool stuff going on there. And this is kind of neat. What we call our directory. So if you're looking at wineries in Virginia, you'll see a list of 190 wineries, and which you can filter down into a regional level and that sort of thing. Well, we're adding what we call a grid view of any of our themed subcategories, I guess. And what this grid view is going to do is put, basically, if an image is uploaded, show an image, show the brief information about that in this nice grid, so people can quickly get a glance at the different things and be drawn into those different properties instead of just seeing the words. So this will be kind of a fun way to present these huge lists of content that we have. And right there from that page, they will be able to add whatever they're looking at, whether it be an event or something, like right to their trip planner, right with one easy click. They won't have to go to another page to do that. We'll be able to do that right from these different directory views and build a awesome Virginia vacation. We'll also be including what we're calling Virginia travel experiences throughout the site that will be related to the different pages that they're on. And the final thing, we're investing a good bit of time and effort into creating a Amazon.com type recommendation engine. Obviously, we don't have $1 billion budget like Amazon.com, so it's going to be awesome. But probably for a little while, we'll be really working out some of the stuff there. But if you're on a page, say Mount Vernon at the bottom, you will be able to see here's some other things nearby. You might also like that type of thing, so you can expand your trip, expand the radius of what you were looking at in Virginia, and see some other cool trip ideas, maybe for future trips. So this whole approach is very exciting, and we can't wait to see how this turns out.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
If we're currently listed on the existing site, will our material migrate to the new site?
Oh, that's a great question. Absolutely, yes. We have a whole data migration plan in there. What you will want to do, and we'll be communicating via email and other efforts there, to get the word out when that's available for you to go ahead and take a look at what got migrated and what got transferred over to make the appropriate update. Yes?
I have two questions. On the recommendations search engine, is that going to be, how is that information going to come through? Will the client be able to recommend where we think we fit for different areas? For instance, say Greenbrier comes up, or okay, that's not a good example. Something within Loudoun County, and the resort wants to be, surrounded by that particular event or area. How are you going to know where we're going to fit best by recommendations? Or can we make suggestions to you?
We have created an algorithm that actually will look at different factors that are related to a listing. So what we're calling the metadata is the technical term there. See what categories they're in, what kind of keywords are associated with the listings, where it's located, and
so we'll have an opportunity to update our information,
yes,
to be sure that the proper keywords are going to be in that description.
Absolutely. And then, in addition to that, we will also have what we're calling a completeness score. So back to one of the earlier slides, where to make sure your listings are complete. If you have the images and you have your website listed and you have a good physical address, that's going to give you a higher score. So that if you're on a page and say it's a historic site, and there are 30 historic sites within a 20-mile radius nearby, how do we know what's going to get surfaced to that? Well, that completeness score is going to be one of those factors. So it'll show the ones that have the imagery, that have a complete description and that sort of thing associated with their listing. So they'll get kind of a point system to bring them up. It's also we've added this because of that concern, I would say. An ability for the user to refresh those recommendation engine listings. So say there's 3 items listed in that box. I can hit a refresh button and get 3 new ones. Hit a refresh again and get 3 more new ones. So it's going to be pretty slick. It's going to take a little work for us to get the bugs out once it goes live, and we're going to be looking for that feedback from you all. But we've spent a lot of time. This was one of the big things that we really wanted to, because I don't think any other state tourism entity is really doing this to the level that we're looking at doing this.
Will there also be a section that, say, someone's looking at a property, a hotel, and will there be an option that says, these are other properties that are similar to this?
Yeah,
or is that similar to this recommendation?
Yeah, that would be part of the recommendation engine.
Okay.
So the great thing about that is kind of two ways to look at it, but what I think is the great thing about that is it's giving the consumer choices, and it's also enabling other hotels to show up on different pages. So, and it's something that the consumers are very comfortable with seeing. So it's going to be.
I have another question.
Good, yep.
On the Virginia travel experiences, is that going to be copywritten? Is that what is? Can you explain that a little
To
bit
start,
more?
we will be submitting the content to it. Later on in the year, we'll be looking for the industry to help us submit itineraries, as we'll call them, and we're building actually a system that will enable folks to do that. I'll remind us later on. Okay.
Thank you.
Yep. Just, I think one more slide on this, and I'm going to turn it over to Tamara. Later in 2011, we have some other things that we will be pushing out. One I just mentioned here. But in addition to the list view and the grid view on our directory, we're also creating a map view. This was taking us a little longer than what we originally anticipated, so we're pushing this off and it will be in a later release. But we're going to offer the consumer a third way to look at listings. So we've all seen these nice maps where things are plotted on the map. So if you're within, again, I'll use the winery example, wineries in Loudoun County, if you filter to that level, you can click on the map view and see where they're all located within the county. We're using Google Maps as our mapping provider, so that's going to be a pretty slick thing to show. And even it'll expand out so you can see more. Say you're looking at presidential homes. We have several here in Virginia. You can see where they're all located in Virginia just by clicking on the map view. Trip planner, have that up here. We'll have a basic trip planner, which we're calling our guest trip planner to start. But later in 2011, we're currently working on this, where it'll be registration based. We'll offer both, because folks often don't like to register. But this will enable people to just add a bunch of stuff into the trip planner, and then be able to sort it out, select some date ranges to when they're scheduling their trip, do route planning, so they have their driving directions from point A to point B to point C to point D. Print it all out, email it to themselves, share it with friends on Facebook, send it to their mobile device, all sorts of different things we're going to be able to do with this enhanced trip planner capability. That we hope will be released by September. A lot of work being done on that. Itinerary builder I mentioned. This will be more of a back-end user capability for industry partners to go in and actually pull together different things on our site and create an actual day 1, day 2, day 3 type trip that has attractions, lodging opportunities, dining opportunities, events possibly, that sort of thing, that we can then post and surface up in our recommendation engine type content throughout the site.